Welcome to the time of death. This video is for informational purposes only and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of David Gallegos and Rigoberto Vega. Both were killed in a drive-by shooting in the 600 block of North Alameda Street in Compton on Sunday, April 20th, 2008. Andrew Lemus was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. At around 11:30 a.m. on April 20th, 2008, Charles Lemus saw his brother Andrew, the defendant, talking to their grandmother in the kitchen of their home at 2547 East 127th Street in the city of Compton. The defendant, a Largo 36 gang member whose moniker was Ando, appeared to be hungover from drinking the night before and left to go get Gatorade from the liquor store. He drove away in his gray Mustang with black racing stripes. Charles was online on the computer in the living room, which had a window that faced 127th Street. At 1:23 p.m., the victim, David Gallegos, a wheelchair-bound paraplegic, left his residence to go to the International House of Pancakes on Alameda in Compton. He was accompanied by his friend Rigoberto Vega, who pushed Gallegos down the sidewalk south on Alameda. Shortly before 1:30 p.m., Cruz was driving north on Alameda near the intersection of Alameda and Palmer when he observed a gray automobile coming towards him traveling south on Alameda. The car made a U-turn in front of Cruz and drove slowly towards Gallegos and Vega. Cruz recognized the automobile as a Mustang and saw the word Mustang on the car behind the trunk. The driver and front seat passenger were both Latinos approximately 18 to 20 years old, and both appeared to have shaved heads. The passenger wore a short-sleeved white shirt. Cruz slowed down behind the Mustang and stopped his car. He heard yelling and then saw a big black shiny gun pointed from the passenger side of the Mustang. Cruz observed Gallegos raise his hands and then heard 3 gunshots. Vega tried to hide behind the wheelchair and Cruz heard 2 more gunshots. Cruz tried to get the license plate number, but the Mustang drove quickly away northbound on Alameda and turned left. Asia, her sister Sakaya, and Charisse left Tam's Burgers near the intersection of Palmer and Alameda and were on their way to their church for a teen girls meeting scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. As they crossed Alameda, they heard gunshots. Asia looked in the direction of the gunshots and saw a gray Mustang with 2 black racing stripes. She saw Vega, who had been pushing the wheelchair, fall to the ground. The shooter fired 2 more shots in Gallegos' direction. Zakaya saw Vega fall to the ground. The shooter first lowered the long barrel black gun and then raised it again. Gallegos covered his face with his hands and then slumped over in the wheelchair. Sakaya saw a gray Mustang with 2 black racing stripes that had been stopped during the shooting. The Mustang then drove away at a fast speed northbound on Alameda. Charisse saw Vega slump over the wheelchair and then fall to the ground after the first set of gunshots. The shooter then raised the black gun and shot Gallegos, who was in the wheelchair, on the sidewalk. An autopsy was conducted and it was determined that Vega had suffered 3 gunshot wounds, one of which perforated the heart and was fatal. The second shot hit the left lung and the third hit the liver and aorta. The second and third gunshot wounds would also have been rapidly fatal. 3 medium caliber bullets consistent with 38 special or 357 magnum caliber bullets were recovered from Vegas's body. An autopsy performed on Gallegos determined that the cause of death was 2 gunshot wounds to the head. 2 bullets were recovered from Gallegos, which were also consistent with 38 special or 357 magnum caliber bullets. The gunshot wound to the left side of the head showed abrasion from gunpowder, which meant the gun was between 1/2 inch and 2 feet away when discharged. At approximately 1:30 p.m., LA County Sheriff Detective Adam Kirsty and his trainee deputy Lucio Venegas conducted a traffic stop in an unincorporated area of LA near the city of Compton. Detective Kirsty received a call from dispatch regarding a shooting that occurred close to their location. The dispatch operator described the getaway car as a silver Ford Mustang with 2 black racing stripes. 10 seconds after hearing the broadcast, Detective Kirsty looked up and observed the vehicle matching the description traveling eastbound on 130th Street at approximately 50 miles per hour in an area where the posted speed limit was 25 miles per hour. Between 1:43 and 1:46 p.m., as Deputy Venegas drove slowly on 127th Street, Detective Kirsty saw a Mustang parked in the defendant's driveway at 2547 East 127th Street. A gold or brown Suburban almost completely blocked the view of the Mustang. Detective Kirsty broadcast over the radio that he had found the Mustang, and other units arrived to assist him setting up a containment around the house. A black hoodie was found in the back seat of the Mustang. The eyewitnesses from the scene of the shooting were transported to the defendant's house to view the Mustang. Asia identified the vehicle as the Mustang she saw at the scene of the crime. Sakaya positively identified the Mustang she saw leaving the murder scene. and Charisse was very positive that the Mustang in the defendant's driveway was the one she saw at the crime scene. Crews identified it as the same one used in the shootings. Sometime between 11:30 p.m. and midnight, Lieutenant Katz was informed that the defendant was at the Century Sheriff's Station. Lieutenant Katz interviewed the defendant, and a tape of the interview was played in court. The defendant told Lieutenant Katz that he was at church all day. Between 2 and 3 a.m. the following morning, sheriff detectives interviewed Jose Vasquez Sr., the pastor of the church, and his son Jose Vasquez Jr. The defendant told Lieutenant Katz that he was at church on April 20th, 2008. He said he got there like before 12 because Sunday school ends at 12, so I was there at about 12. He told Lieutenant Katz that the pastor lives across the street from him and that he caught a ride to church with his friend Junior, the pastor's son. Jose Vasquez Sr., the pastor at Apostolic Assembly Torre Fuerte, testified that on April 20th, 2008, he and his wife got to church at around 8 a.m. He did not see the defendant at Sunday school class, which ran from 10:30 a.m. to noon. Regular service started at 1:30 p.m. There were two entrances to the church, and from the platform at the front of the church where Vasquez was situated, you could see when people entered and left the church. Vasquez entered the church at approximately 1:45 p.m. and did not see the defendant. He noticed the defendant for the first time at 2:40 p.m. because everybody was sitting and he was standing. The defendant was wearing a white short-sleeved t-shirt. LA County Sheriff Detective Aaron Gutierrez was called as the prosecution's gang expert. Compton Barrio Largo, CVL 36 or Largo 36 had over 200 members. Detective Gutierrez testified that the defendant, whose gang moniker was Ando, was a Largo 36 gang member. He based his opinion on reports he had reviewed of the defendant's association with other known gang members, Largo 36 graffiti on CD cases recovered from the Mustang owned by him, and numerous gang tattoos the defendant sported. In addition to Rest in Peace Devious, the defendant also had tattoos of a demon or devil behind bars throwing up the L in 36. The defendant also had Hub City, which referred to Compton, tattooed on his left arm, and LA tattooed on his right arm. A pair of shower shoes were recovered during the search of the defendant's cell at Men's Central Jail, on which the defendant had written Hub City, L36, and CPT. Following the trial, the jury found the defendant, Andrew Lemus, guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, including a gun and gang enhancement. The court sentenced the defendant to 2 consecutive terms of life without the possibility of parole, each enhanced by a term of 25 years to life for the gun and gang enhancements. David Gallegos was 32 years old at the time of death. Rigoberto Vega was 23 years old at the time of death.